spring pines, rocky coasts and floats, from mighty, mighty fire and let them in. With those of scouting teams as we follow on to greater fame. Rest above land of golden dreams, hiking trails of crystal mountain streams. Let's just scout with spirit bold and true. Now let us stand and take our road anew. On my honor, I will do my best to be bound to see that scouting spirit blesses everyone. No matter where they be, as we go on forgotten our country. Our country.
One. Merry Christmas in July! Big Spring Camp. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Big Springs Life podcast. This time, our Christmas in July special. And here with us this week is a very special guest, camp staff alumni Kyle Jorstad. If you want to introduce yourself, kind of what you did on camp staff, maybe a little bit what you're up to now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here. I was on camp staff for 10 years. A lot of that time was spent in Campcraft with Dan Beard, and then I was a commissioner and assistant program director. So, at this point, I'm old enough to feel the time. And now I'm in Ohio in law school. So, missing camp every summer.
We all are. And one of the reasons Kyle is our guest for this week is because, as I mentioned, our topic, Christmas in July, is something he's quite passionate about, at least when he was here. It was always the staff party he helped run. We had another guest lined up. Hopefully he makes it in a little late. But he's also, people go really crazy on Christmas in July. So
it's worth it, Andy.
Oh, it's definitely worth it. But do you want to kind of like explain a little bit about it, what it is?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the pinnacle of the entire summer. No staff party can compare with Christmas in July. Don't roll your eyes at me, Andy.
No, I'm not rolling my eyes. I'm considering. I'm seeing if there's anything that has come close. I mean,
there's probably been a few that are, pretty damn close.
Like Rusticon's.
Yeah,
Rusticon's pretty good. The Ren Fair.
Yeah, so essentially it's just we have a build-up all week, not just for the staff. Like, we'll advertise it to the campers, too. We'll be wearing Santa hats around camp. They'll be very confused.
We set up an inflatable last summer outside of the health lodge.
That's amazing. And then it all culminates in an exchange of gifts during the staff party. And the best part is that the senior staff, so like directors, anyone who's 18 and older, like they'll exchange their gifts in front of everybody else, and they're usually hilarious to witness. So it really is a staff party that stands out.
Yeah, hilarious. One thing we make sure to do in front of the campers, like at our opening campfire, is avoid gray area things, so things that might be inappropriate based off how they interpret. That kind of goes away when Christmas in July rolls around. So we'll have to limit it, our discussion of some of the classic gifts, to the more PG options. But it's a sight to behold, some of these gifts. And they're not all gag gifts. There are some sincere gifts interwoven.
Yes, I've seen a few very useful and sincere gifts. I've seen, as you mentioned, many joke and far beyond the gray area gifts. So there's a wide range.
Yeah, but it is fun. So like any Christmas, their traditions pop up and start developing. There are any traditions that you remember? Well, we can get more into gift giving later, but like beyond gift giving, are there any big traditions around Christmas in July you can think of?
Well, one is definitely Christmas lights everywhere. I know we'd put up Christmas lights at Campcraft. I know Jiffy would just completely deck out handicraft for Christmas in July. Santa hats everywhere. I think we'd be singing Christmas songs throughout the camp. I think there was a few times that even happened during a mealtime and left everyone completely confused. But
the camp, with how often troops come the same weeks, you would think, and week 5, which is usually when Christmas in July falls, they'd get, and that's like the one where people come the same week. They like catch on and they'd know what's up at a certain point, but they never do.
maybe they just purge it from their heads because they can't handle the truth that is Christmas in July. I mean,
Maybe we should just get them involved too, except we shouldn't, because that's a bad idea. Yeah, but some other things in terms of traditions. Last summer, Bobby Berghar, our program director, and I started this thing. Well, I suggested we get candy canes, we get in the Polaris, which is like an off-roading golf cart, and we went to every area with our Santa hats, with our candy canes, handed them out to the staff, and that was quite a lot of fun. We decorated the Polaris with tinsel and lights and
that's great.
antlers. Oh, it was phenomenal. Jiffy, if he gets here, he can talk about it, but he started making Christmas cards and hid them in areas.
Yep.
Some areas easier to find than others. Do you know any of the
There's speculation that some of those cards didn't exist. It's a
that
great
tracks?
conspiracy theory.
That tracks, honestly. But like, I just remember there were some that were like at the bottom of like the Pop-Tarts thing in the trading post, or like some of them was just, how did he get up there? Like on roofs, or like
Inside locked cupboards,
yeah. Well, I mean that one's pretty straightforward. That one he just had a person on the inside helping him. So like, I don't know who. I don't really care. It's Santa. Santa helped him out. But yeah. And then so there's a bunch of things. We kind of just try to bring the Christmas in. Decorate. Sometimes we've even gotten trees, either fake or real, and decorated those. I remember I think it was my first year. Senior staff member, actually chopped down a tree on the reservation, brought into the staff area, and set it up, and that kind of got prevented future years. But yeah,
that sounds like something that would happen.
I think that was Chris Smith too. I think Chris Smith did that. I always remember him dragging it in on an ATV. Yeah, that was wild. But yeah, so the whole week leading up to it, it's a wild time. It actually kind of starts on our day off, the day off before, because we draw the names for the Secret Santa. But I think it's time to talk about the main event, the staff party, this shindig. So,
The
pinnacle. I think, where to begin? Where's a good place to begin?
cookies. We make dozens on dozens of cookies. Enough cookies that I would be crumbling cookies into bowls and eating it with milk like cereal for weeks afterwards. And I loved it.
Yeah, we've definitely scaled it down because I think they told us to. But for anyone who's been
I'm going to have to officially disapprove of scaling back cookie production, but you can continue.
we all do. We all want more cookies, but they were kind of just like, because when we're doing a staff party, a bit of an insight, we kind of get a bit of a budget. I think they want to try and keep it to like $200 per staff party. And for Christmas in July, that goes into everything. That goes in like food, activities, decorations, everything like that. But for Christmas in July, the activity is the gift giving. The decorations are usually brought from home because it's very hard to find Christmas stuff in July in the Poconos. So that gives $200 to spend on like those frozen cookie dough pucks.
Well, do you know how it started?
How did it start?
Because the first year that Steve had me run it, I said, "Hey, Steve, do you think we could get cookies?" And he was going into Bon Appetit's, the food company service that did the food during that year. He went in and looked at the cookies they had, and he saw that they had boxes of frozen cookies. But we didn't actually know how many cookies came in each box. So he just ordered like 8 boxes of these, industrial size containers of cookies, and we just had endless cookies. And then in the future years, he started to slowly scale it back, but we never actually got to the point of having a reasonable amount of cookies. We always had too much.
Yeah. So anyone who's been to camp, behind the serving line, you see those like tall cabinet-looking things with like probably like 20-ish like shelves in them. After, so not before, after the party, after the almost 100 staff members of Teenage Boys have gorged ourselves on cookies, we that year, in the early years, filled probably 3 of those full of trays of uneaten cookies.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like they were just like spread out on cookie sheets. We piled them on plates, saran wrapped them, and then stacked those inside the hot boxes.
Yeah. I think we started like giving them away to campers as they were leaving. We're like, "Merry Christmas in July, take some cookies." Take them. But yeah, we've scaled it back. I think last summer we barely filled 2 trays at the end of the event. That's because we expanded and we did like breakfast food as well. So we had a bit more of like actual food during this event.
It's probably more efficient if we're being honest.
It is, but there's something to be gained from just walking to the dining hall and just see a sea of cookies. But yeah, so cookies, but then like you come on in, you come down from the campfire, you go back to your tent, you get into your PJs because that's super important part. You come back in the dining hall, Christmas music's pumping, you get your cookies, you sit down, and then it's the gift giving. The gift giving is kind of broken into 3 parts. There's the CITs, which it's kind of started and shifted in a couple of ways.
Yeah, that's transformed over the years.
Yeah. What was it when you were you were a CIT? What was it
when I was
when
a CIT, John Bickle was the program director, and he went out to Walmart and kind of got personalized gifts for everyone. So I got a basket of plastic vegetables. And the way it's been done over the years has really changed depending on who's running it.
Yeah, because that was yours. When I was a CIT, they kind of just raided the dregs of the trading post and just gave us stuff from there. Like it was either old Reska hats that they haven't been able to sell, or like drawstring bags. They've done a white elephant gift exchange before, which was odd, seeing the items selected. And then recent years has kind of shifted to all the CITs getting the same gift, but like thought and themes put into it. So first year that was done, it was like an interview kit. It had like gums, their breath would be nice and fresh for the interview, a necktie, a notepad, stuff like that. So there's still a little bit of a gag element, but it's a bit more sincere nowadays. Then we move into the junior staff. There's usually a $5 to $10 budget.
Something like that. I mean, but let's be honest, not everybody followed it. I remember TKP would routinely spend like $75, $80 on whoever he got.
Yeah, it's more of a guideline than a hard and fast rule, because I don't know how many people actually do follow it. I'd be surprised.
I think that was more a rule that we set so that, the younger staff members that didn't necessarily have as much cash on hand didn't have to feel bad about getting a cheaper gift. But the directors and the people who exchanged in front of everybody, those were typically little more money went into those.
Well, I think we also had a higher budget. Our budget, I think
Yeah, exactly.
directors was like 20, but you saw a lot of common themes with the junior staff. Like it was a lot of like candy and junk food, magic cards. I've seen a lot of people will just kind of end up, they'll get someone they don't know, and then they'll like go to Walmart and get something that's like vaguely in the realm of something they like. So,
Wawa gift cards are probably the safest route.
oh yeah, no, there's like a Wawa like 20 minutes from camp. I'm surprised like we just don't just clear them out of gift cards.
Okay.
That's kind of developed. But then this is something we can take a little bit more time to talk about, the director's one. Let's kind of go down memory lane. Are there any that we can share on a officially branded and endorsed podcast by the council? Are there any gifts you can recall that just kind of like fully encompass the spirit of Christmas in July?
Oh dear. That's something I'm gonna have to not only think about some of the most memorable gifts, but then filter them by content.
I mean, fair. You can also just omit details, I'd say, is an acceptable thing to do as well.
I think the most memorable one that I received was from John Gerlach. So if anyone who knows me knows that if you ask me how I was during the day, I would just say peachy, because it's so perfect. You can just express with inflection how you are. Like if I say peachy, I'm doing great. If I say peachy, it means you need to stop talking to me right now or I might murder you.
Yeah.
And so he took that and got me a massive number 10 can of canned peaches, which I to this day have. And then he gave me a sheet with various definitions for peachy and peach and peaches. And I suppose I can just let anyone look those up at their own convenience, but it was both memorable and hilarious thanks to his presentation. So
yeah, that's the other thing. It's the presentation. You can get someone a really mundane thing for this part, but if you can present it, that just adds to it because it's a spectacle. This is the entertainment for everyone. It needs to be that spectacle. Mine's not necessarily.
I remember.
So you can
No, go
continue.
ahead.
No, mine's like taking us off a different tangent. You can say.
But no, you're right. It's all about the presentation. I remember there were numerous I could probably count on two hands how many years the Ranger received some sort of small ATV vehicle, like from Hasbro or whatever, as a gift. But there was the one time where the presentation was done really well, it was funny.
Yeah.
So
Or yeah, that's kind of a downside. There's a lot of commonalities that end up happening. Steve Mock, our assistant camp director, has received so many wigs and hats and things of that nature. If you're an archery director, you're getting a little tiny 5-pound child's bow.
suction cup arrows.
Suction cup arrows. But yeah, what I was going to share, it's not necessarily a gift. I can probably try and remember a good gift, but it's kind of just a funny story. So when we do it, we pick a random person, and then they go first. They'll call up their person, and then they'll kind of just keep going down that chain until the loop is closed, and then they'll start a new loop. And my first year as commissioner, so 2017, the loop was almost perfect. It got around to nearly every single person in the director's chat, and not director's chat, in the director's lineup. And I say almost everyone because the only people left out were me and another commissioner. We had each other by, and this didn't like work out because people trade names. People trade names constantly. But when it got to that end of that chain, when it's almost the entire, like it's almost like 11:30 at night and their chain hasn't broken, people are like getting more and more hype about like, oh my God, have we done it? Have we gotten the perfect chain? And then just to have that like soul crush, and then the two of us was highlight for me.
Well, actually, I mean, it's a good point because I think a lot of the fun isn't even necessarily the night of the exchange. It's directors trying to figure out who has them during the week leading up to it. Because, unlike the staff where there's 70 or 80 people who don't necessarily know each other and it's hard to figure out who it is, the directors all see each other pretty regularly. They're probably closer friends. And so, like, during the week, we're all trying to, you know, covertly figure out who has our name, and all of the trading back and forth, all of the ploys that people go through to deceive each other. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. The every now and again it's kind of a bummer when you figure it out, because I like being surprised, but I'd always like start conversations with people when I visit their areas with, you got any fun plans? Like, if you're comfortable sharing it, who you got? And when I got two people within like 30 minutes of each other telling me they have the same person, I was kind of like, all right, one of you is lying. And then I
Yep.
further deduced, and then it was still a good one. But oh boy. I honestly, I'm gonna try and think of like, if there's any like real sincere gifts that have been given out. In the director's one. Usually when people do it, there's like a gag gift and then a serious gift associated with it. It's usually not just both. I think it kind of fits. Who was it? It was Dan Gottschalk, our shop director. He had, it was either Dan Lyons or Michaela Bickford. He had one of them, and their favorite candies like Reese's. And I think he just went to Walmart and just purchased every single item that had the word Reese's on it
Yeah.
for him. So it kind of fits that category of being both a joke and a gag gift, but sincere at the same time because it's something you're going to use. But kind of tying it all together, wrapping it up at the end. What is it about Christmas in July that you like so much, or liked and kind of got behind it?
Well, I'm a major Christmas. I don't know if fanatic would be the appropriate word, but I love Christmas. I love you know, finding a fun gift for someone and giving it to them. Because, it's not so much getting a gift during Christmas, it's having a person that you need to think about and find a gift for that means something. Um, and especially when you're one of the directors exchanging that gift and you have to find something that's either funny or meaningful for that person, it's just a lot of fun, both for the two of you and for the staff to see. So it was always just a really fun staff party for me.
Yeah. So oh, not to backtrack, but great story that I can share that kind of encompasses the how awkward this thing can be because of the gray area. So one year, do you remember what year we got Katie Rubino to?
I don't, but I thought of that earlier and I was like, well, I don't know if he wants this mentioned, but
I mean, like,
yeah.
I'm not going to mention specifics, but so we hired a local musician, singer, I think, that kind
Yeah,
of
she was a guitarist and singer.
kind of became a meme amongst the camp staff. If you're listening to this, I apologize for everything we've put you through. But I doubt you're listening to this. So we hired the singer to come in. Keep in mind, this person's like 16, 15. I don't think she had a.
Did we know this at the time? Because I remember Pat was going crazy about how we were going to get this person to sing.
Yeah, I don't think we knew she. I think we knew she was on the younger end. I just don't think we were expecting. I think the expectation was that she would be able to drive herself to the
And then she
camp.
showed up in her parents' car.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she comes in, she sets up, and she starts like playing Christmas music, like carols and like all of them, pretty much anything she can play throughout the event. As we're all just giving each other massively inappropriate and personal gag gifts.
Yep. I felt super awkward that she was standing there in the background.
Because, like, imagine how this got proposed to her. Like, hello, Miss Rubino. We are organizing a staff event at the scout camp in the woods. It's Christmas themed. It's our Christmas in July holiday staff party. We're doing a Secret Santa. We would like to hire your services to come on in and play some Christmas music. And you're like, okay, yeah, this is an easy gig. It's scouts, so it's probably gonna be pretty tame. They'll probably like go to bed super early, and then you just come in. You see like the place decked out to the nines and like garland and tinsel and Christmas lights. You see enough cookies to make Keebler elves jealous. And then the staff start giving each other gifts that uh, if
Would
council
make a
knew.
grown Jerry quiver in his socks.
Wait, what?
Would make a grown Jerry quiver in his socks.
That would make that if some people at council saw it, they would probably put the stop to our holiday festivities.
Well, I think this is a great case in point for everyone who ends up listening to this of why gray area training is not simply so that we don't have adult leaders coming to us in UNAMI complaining about content. It's also to, make sure that we're aware of everyone that's going to be listening to what we're putting on.
Yeah. So to all the listeners, if you thought we were all squeaky clean and innocent, when you're living in the woods for a couple weeks every summer with people, you kind of months, yeah, depending on who it is, you kind of start going a little stir crazy, just a little bit. I'm trying to think like what's the closest to not okay I can share, just to like give that like a little taste without getting fired. Yeah,
Andy, you've been raving for years about wanting to be fired. I would think this is like a golden opportunity for you.
honestly, you know what? I'll put it in context. I'll put in a different context than it was given in to. If they fire me, they fire me. What's worse will happen. So, one of the things for the counselor that was at the time the CIT coordinator, the running gag that summer was they were the CIT dad, the dad of the CITs. So the person who had that staff member got them a dad kit. And in this dad kit included, a good gift, a wholesome gift, a mug signed by all of the CITs, counselors in training, and said "World's Greatest CIT Dad." That was a good gift. Everyone enjoyed that. There was like a Hot Wheels car because every dad needs a cool ride. There was like a fake mustache and like sunglasses and like cheap white Walmart shoes with white socks. But then, since I was a large CIT year, it's like at the very end, there was a little note in an envelope, and on the envelope, it said something along the lines of, your family's grown very large. Everyone needs to plan. Sometimes it's time to stop. And inside was a single contraceptive device, known as a condom, to do the family planning in a safe manner. Yes, that's one of the tamer examples I can think of. But it's oh boy, it's risky. But
Yep.
yeah, but Christmas in July, it's a great thing. It's a highlight of the summer for everyone involved. We need to figure out how we're going to celebrate this year with the socially distancing and all, but it's important. But closing, do you have any closing comments you wish to share?
I just hope that it carries on being one of the biggest staff parties. I think it's one of the few staff parties that has continuously been done every single summer. Usually we'll have different themes depending on what the directors want to do and what people are interested in, but Christmas in July happens every year, and that's exciting.
Yeah, I think myself and Melissa kind of took up the reins last year, and I actually got my parents, when they came up to visit, or my dad came up for work, to bring our fake tree up. So we actually had a fake tree. So it's changing, it's adapting. We have actual food, we have less cookies, but I think the spirit, the energy, and the desire is still there and will outlive all of us in our time at camp, I feel and hope. But thank you all for listening to this, our holiday special of the Big Springs Life podcast. A little short teaser, not teaser, but additional episode. We'll still be posting another one on Monday, so you can keep an ear out for that. That one's kind of going to tie in, be another fun one about staff life, what we do to prevent ourselves from going insane, so keep an ear out for that. And if this all sounds super intriguing and you want to see what it's like to be staff for yourself, keep an ear out. You can sign up to join us, become a staff member in 2021. Have fun, get weird gifts, give weird gifts, eat cookies until you get sick. It's a blast. So much fun.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. But yeah. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.
2, 3. Oh, I don't want no more of Big Springs life. Hey, G-Mom, I want to go, but they won't let me go. G-Mom, I want to go home.
Oh, the egos up at Big Springs, they say we're pretty fly, but we can't find a single tree that we can identify.
Oh, I don't want no more of Big Springs life. Hey, G-Mom, I want to go, but they won't let me go. G-Mom, I want to go home.
Well, they say Big Springs, we're easy to admire. People can't know the knots, they're setting the boys on fire.
Oh, I don't want no more of Big Springs life. Hey, G-Mom, I want to go, but they won't let me go. G-Mom, I want to go home.
Well, the ocean is Big Springs, it's intriguing. Yeah, diesel flags really so my head up in my shoes.
Oh, I don't want any more of Big Springs life. Hey, G-Mom, I want to go, but they won't let me go. G-Mom, I want to